Hey everybody, I'm JJ, you're watching Reality Survival, and today we're going to talk about 5-ish things to never do. And you know, this really is, it's going to be split. It's going to be some of the, well, all these items really apply for the most part in today's current world, what we find ourselves in, and you know, really in an SHTF situation as well. So with that, let's go ahead and get into this. So the first thing you never want to do is don't be out after midnight. The old saying, you know, nothing good happens after midnight. And really, you could probably bump this up to like 9:30 or 10 o'clock, something along those lines. When you look at crime statistics and all that kind of stuff, what you'll see is that bad things happen late at night. Okay, so if you can change your routines and habits and all that kind of stuff to get you home, you know, before 10 o'clock, you are going to be significantly, the statistical chances of you getting, you know, attacked or mugged or hurt and, you know, all that kind of thing are going to drop significantly. Number 2, never go to statistically dangerous areas of town. You know, my chicken's freaking out over there. Crime statistics are a really useful thing to help you understand the world that you live in. And this has nothing to do with race or, you know, anything like that. It just has to do with bad parts of town. Certain areas of town have higher crime statistics. And, you know, there's probably multiple reasons for that. But what that should tell you as somebody, you know, who's a citizen trying to make decisions to keep their family safe, is, you know, go by those statistics. Don't go in those areas. My chickens are the loudest chickens in the planet, I swear. She's hollering for no reason. She's just running around making noise. Guess that's what chickens do. Anyway, so take a look at these crime stats and let that guide your behavior. I'll give you an example. For me here at the Indianapolis area, I don't go into town unless I'm working, you know, unless it's an official reason, unless I have to. Inside the loop, basically, is kind of the way I look at it. That's like a no-go zone for me and my family, you know, if we have the option not to. And so especially my wife, if she's alone and all that kind of stuff, I just don't let her go in because it's just not smart. And some people will say that's silly and all that kind of stuff, but to me, it just reduces the chance of something bad happening, especially if I'm not around. So number 3 is never stop learning. One of the most dangerous things you can do, especially in chicken is going nuts. Especially in any situation really, but especially in an SHTF situation, is to think that you know everything you need to know, and that you don't need to learn from other people, or you don't need to cooperate with other people. You don't need to, you know, change the things that you're doing to improve them and all that kind of stuff. What is wrong with that chicken? Sorry. Settle down. Anyway, it's probably not as loud for you guys, but it's bugging the hell out of me. But the thing is that you don't want to stop learning. You want to be flexible. You want to make sure that you're trying to adapt the processes and procedures that you have in place, and just don't think that you know it all. You know, that is a really, really important thing. Understand that other people may have experiences and stuff that you don't, and they may be able to bring value to the table, and you could learn from them. You should always approach interactions with people as though they have some little nugget, some little piece of information they're going to exchange with you that can help better you in some way. Now, you have to evaluate it. Maybe they don't, right? And then you just kind of discard it and you move on. But if you close your mind to the idea that you don't have anything more to learn, then you're going to get a rude awakening someday. So, okay, I got to go deal with this chicken. I'll be back. All right. I don't know what's wrong with that chicken. Okay, so number 4 is never betray your values. Now, with this one, this also applies in both situations, because betraying your values is typically some kind of a situation where you do something that you know you shouldn't do, and you do it anyway, and it ends up getting you in trouble, right? You can look back through your whole life, and you can probably see that every time that you did something, you got in trouble or whatever in some way, it was because you decided to do something that betrayed your values. And so just try to know what those values are. If you don't know what they are, if you haven't really examined them, and then say what are the things that I stand for as a human being that are okay and not okay with me, then you don't really know when you're crossing the line, right? That's where, for a lot of people, that's where faith comes in. That's where having a belief in God or Jesus or whatever, those things will help guide your values. But even if you don't believe, okay, that's fine. Everybody has different options. But at least have a code, know what your values are. And you have to determine those things for yourself. But then once you establish those things, don't betray them, because it's always those situations where you do betray them that you end up getting into trouble, or you end up getting hurt, or you end up getting, you end up regretting it down the road, basically. So that is number 4. So number 5, never blindly trust anyone. You need to trust but verify. That's a super important thing, especially in the prepping community. Everybody worries about OPSEC and all that kind of stuff. And OPSEC is important to a certain degree, but so is trusting people. Some people are way too, they trust too easily. And they bring people in and all that kind of thing, and sometimes you need to put the brakes on that, and you need to make sure that it's warranted. You need to make sure that these people are worthy of your trust. And so trust but verify. And I always say that trust takes years to build, not days. And so it's something that happens over time. It's something you have to do intentionally. You have to, form relationships and be serious about them. But you also have to take it slow, and you've got to, make sure that the people that you're dealing with are somebody that you can truly rely on. Okay. So that's the top 5. Now I'll get another couple in here. The next one is always, this is just a real quick one. Always lock your car doors and your home. If you do those 2 things, that right there, just without even making crazy upgrades to your home improvement and all that kind of stuff, just making sure that your doors are always locked in your car and your house, that will keep you much safer and keep you from being a victim of robbery and all those kinds of things, home invasions and all that. Because the vast majority of criminals look for easy targets. It's somewhere over the 80% range in car thefts and home robberies, where the houses and the cars are actually unlocked and they just walk right in, or just open the door and take your stuff. So always lock your doors. All right. Okay. So the next one and the last one is never trust your government. All governments tend towards tyranny, and it's important that you be a part of the government so that you can make sure what's happening is righteous and going the right way. And I'm specifically talking about local governments here. If you look back over the last couple of years with COVID and all that nonsense, the people that were the most tyrannical were the county level officials. These are the health departments and stuff that were closing people down and all that kind of stuff, and your state level government as well. But really, the county level and the city level were the ones that were the worst. And it's important that you take part in that level of government, and higher if you want, but at least at that level, so that you can put a check on what's happening and you can be there to sound the alarm if something goes wrong. It doesn't matter what level it is or what position it is. You don't got to be the highest person or the main guy in charge. You just need to be involved at that local level so that you know who the players are, you know what's going on, and if you see something that's wrong, you can pull the dudes aside that are in charge and say, look man, this is happening and I don't think it's right. We need to do something about this. That is so critical. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people talk about, oh, there's no point in voting in elections in the future because it's all rigged, so I'm not even going to take part. Well, you're the reason that we'll lose. It won't be fraud, because here's the thing. In fraud with the elections, there are 3,142 counties out there, and that's how many elections we have. Okay, we have 3,142 elections. Each county certifies their votes, sends them to the state, and the state sends them up. If you're involved with your local election board, you can get in there and make changes to make sure that it's a valid process and that cheating doesn't take place. If you don't do that between now and the next election, then you don't have any right to bitch when it doesn't turn out the way that you want. If the Dominion voting system is used in your county and you don't like it, that should be your singular purpose in life between now and the next election, is to get rid of it. Not because necessarily fraud has been proven or not proven. I don't know if it has or hasn't. But just because there's an appearance of impropriety, it's just the appearance of impropriety that should be enough to remove it from the equation. You should go and be a part of your election board, and you should influence those changes to happen. I mean, hey, there's no reason why we can't have paper ballots with a signature and a picture of your ID card and your thumbprint on it, and then just let those ballots be counted electronically, not hooked to the internet, right? So that you can get the results sent up fast enough and all that kind of stuff. But you could do this. Like these are things that could be done, and there's no reason to involve machinery that is hooked to the internet. Okay, we have the technical capability to operate standalone machinery that can be verified with a paper ballot that is indisputable. Okay, that is easy to do. It isn't hard to do. All it takes is enough people standing up at the county level saying, look, I understand the system that you have in place, but there's an appearance of impropriety. I don't think that it's adequate, and we need to make changes to make it better. It's only going to happen from you guys doing that in your local counties that we can ensure that we have an election system with integrity. Okay? So, the idea that it's just the big boogeymans are the ones that are causing all this kind of stuff. No, it's people at the local level, who had a deep hatred for Donald Trump, who is orchestrating these things, because there were plenty of people out in those purple counties that knew that they were in a position to be able to do just enough to throw things off their way. And it happened in probably several different counties like that across America. I'm not disputing the fact that that's probably the case. What I'm trying to say to you is, don't just rely on your local government. You need to be involved. You need to be there to make sure that things go right. And if you're not, then you can't bitch about it when it goes wrong the next time. So anyway, those are my, 7 or 8, whatever it ended up being, things to never do. So hopefully they were useful, and I hope that you take some inspiration from this. That's what it's meant to motivate people and to try to get them to understand that our country was founded on the basis of citizen-involved government. That's what it was formed upon. And if we're not involved, if we don't, people who believe in the Constitution and have good morals and ethics, if they're not involved, if they're not at the level of making those decisions, then we're going to get what we get. If we sit back and we don't be involved, then we don't really have any place to be able to say, to be screaming on social media in your echo chambers about how terrible everything is. We have to get up. We have to go get involved, and we have to be a part of the solution. If you don't, then I guess we just kissed America goodbye. So anyway, guys, don't forget to live 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe. See you on another video here quick.